Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just an adorable couple in love. Those reacting to some Attack on Titan.
Yes, we're doing season 3, episodes 3 and 4 today.
So if you want our full uncut reactions for this and early ad-free access, then check out our Patreon. Links in the description of the video. You can get a month ahead and see every moment that way.
Of course, if you want to stay on this platform, you can go ahead and click the little join button below, and that will grant you access to our YouTube membership, and that will also give you access a month in advance.
Yeah, all right, so let's get started.
Let's do it.
I was born on a small farmstead in the northern lands of Walrose. It was owned by the noble Rice family.
Did Sasha have her like tongue out?
She did, I missed it. It's the history of Historia.
Snuggle puppy.
Most nights, someone would come for her in a carriage. For me, that was just life as I knew it. I started picking up books to imitate my mother, and they taught me just how alone I was. In all the stories I read in those books,
That was a picture of season 3, I think, or
Mm.
and then the end of season 2.
one day, out of curiosity, I decided to try hugging my mother. Wanted to see what kind of face she'd make.
It was one of disgust.
Oh my
Oh.
god!
But that was the first time my mother had acknowledged me.
Oh, that is so sad.
If only I wasn't such a coward, I could have killed it.
Ooh,
Oh my god!
it.
I didn't see her for a long time.
Her mother called her an it.
Just a few days after Walmaria fell, I finally met my father.
My name's Rod Rice. You see, I'm your father.
He was the lord of the land I'd grown up on. The mother I hadn't seen in years looked terribly frightened.
You'll be living with me from this day forth.
The fall of Walmaria's got you acting a bit reckless. I suppose you thought you'd get your pretty little secrets to safer ground, huh?
I'm not that girl's mother. I've never even met her. Do whatever you want with her, but let me go.
Oh,
Wow.
You have anything to say about that, Lord Rice?
That's correct. These two have nothing to do with me.
I thought that might be the case. You were never employed at this estate. Sounds to me like you don't exist.
oh.
Please, that isn't true. You have to tell them before I.
Those were the last words my mother ever said.
If only you'd never been born.
Moments before I was killed myself, my father proposed an idea.
Your new name will be Krista Lenz. I beg for your forgiveness, child. Please know that everything I've done, I did to protect you. Long have I dreamed of a day when I could hold you like this. The blood of the king flows through your veins. The true royal bloodline is carried by the Rice family. And as its heir, the power to save all of humanity now rests in your hands.
Oh my god. No pressure.
And I'll show you where it all began.
Yes, show us.
Sonis, what happened? They didn't actually make you talk, did they? I would have died for you and you betrayed me for a bit.
He didn't get a chance to. We never questioned him. This is the conversation you heard. We forced Ralph here to read off this script at knife point.
Could have told him that like before he choked the shit out of that guy.
I'm the one who betrayed the king's secret.
Yeah, you were duped.
Yep.
Hoodwinked.
You're a
Bamboozled.
devil.
Yes, I think you might be right about that. That's why I felt sorry for you, Sonis. Not because your nails got plucked out, but because of what you've done with your life. You're pathetic. A grown-ass man wailing like an infant. Are you sad now? Well, boo hoo!
Oh my god.
The rest of your lives doing nothing but eating and shitting in this cell! Enjoy.
There's an order to these things. Another must take on the role that they used to play. Best of luck, Hanji.
Section Commander?
They're gonna need a minute.
Seems I made a mess. I encountered a large cockroach.
I see. I bet it learned its lesson each time you filled them in.
I guess I might as well.
Super fun.
Aaron remembered a conversation between Ymir and Bertolt.
You hold that against me?
I don't think so. I don't know. Suppose I have to believe you didn't want to eat anyone.
Based on this, we can speculate. Ymir used to be a mindless titan just like the others, until she consumed someone. Rhina's comrades aren't normal humans, and there's a different set of rules for humans that can turn into titans. If a titan eats someone with that power, then it'll transform back into a human. What's more, they'll obtain whatever powers that human had. Rhina was throwing titans at Aaron as he tried to run away. If Aaron's death would have meant that power was lost, he wouldn't have risked it. I think he hoped one of those titans would eat Aaron and take his power. If the government has a titan of their own, they'll use it to eat Aaron.
Damn.
I know you want to get Aaron back, but going on a rampage won't help with that. We're heading for Rod Rice's estate.
Sir!
Okay, I never would have picked out that part of the conversation and when they were talking to each other
Yeah,
as like what Aaron told Zoe.
agreed.
Pardon, sir. Commander of the garrison has just arrived.
Pixis.
He's asking to speak
Pixis. Been forever since we've seen that dude.
Eating a human turns a Titan into an abnormal.
If a Titan eats another Titan, they gain those Titans' powers. Is what I understood.
Okay, so they just have to eat an abnormal to then kind of...
Yeah.
with you. And I knew that when the time came, I would have to point my gun at the king I'm sworn to serve.
It may be possible for us to carry out this plan without military force.
That'd be ideal.
Then by all means, go on.
The catch is that the groundwork for this is yet to be laid out. And if things don't go as I think they will, there's no plan B. I and everyone else will be hanged.
No safety net.
So this is another one of your great gambles, then.
That's what he's known for.
I'd like you to hear a story from my childhood.
Okay.
About my father. He was a teacher.
You can see when a pure Titan lacking intelligence consumes some other intelligent Titan.
gains consciousness as well as the Titan's powers. Okay.
Damn, too bad.
Summed up what Zoe was saying there.
Commander, it's done.
Looks like my gamble might pay off, Commander. The current king is a pretender to the throne. Rice is the true royal family. I've deployed my scouts. They're working to retrieve Aaron and Historia. We'll declare that Historia Rice is of royal blood and crown her as this country's queen.
Oh, damn!
The Urset's king will have no choice but to give up the throne.
We'll have staged a bloodless coup.
I don't think he's going to go that easy.
You can count on my support.
Yeah, Pixis.
We could be in the wrong. You do understand that.
I do. Yes. I found out as much as I could.
The Interior Squad's put out a warrant for you. They're making a scene in the middle of the city, sir, saying you had someone murdered.
It would appear that the enemy has been making plans of their own. Leave town at once.
What are you planning to do?
I need to be the face of the scout regiment. I trust you to act at your own discretion. I've chosen the scout's next leader, and it's you, Zoe Hanji.
Wow. Okay. Didn't pick Levi.
I take it you know who this is. Just yesterday at this exact location, Aaron Yeager was abducted by a group of Reeves' lackeys. And then, when Reeves had outlived his usefulness, they killed him to stop him from talking. The murderer is still at large.
What a convenient story that would be.
Yes.
You're trying to monopolize Yeager's Titan power and keep it all for yourselves. And because the Scout Regiment is in violation of this law, all scouts must be arrested.
All scouts?
You've got to be kidding me.
Wow.
Maybe this'll satisfy the fat cats. Reeves ended up being just as useful against us as with us.
But we still don't have any leads on Levi.
The rot's not gonna hide forever.
What do you think we should do?
Give me a moment.
What?
Get the hell away from my husband!
When the battle for Trost first began, Mr. Reeves delayed evacuation efforts in order to preserve his wealth.
So what's your point? Are you trying to say he deserved to die?
Because upon his return to Trost, he found it on the verge of collapse. And instead of abandoning it, he helped those who couldn't leave by striving to revive this city. That dream has been cut short by a knife in the dark. I swear this. I will avenge him.
Yeah, Ervin. Oh, man.
One day we were studying history. Faced with the annihilation at the hands of Titans, humanity took refuge behind the walls and realized 100 years of peace. But in this process, we lost all records of what humanity's earlier past might have looked like. Even back then, this seemed strange to me, and so I asked my father a question. He gave me a fairly evasive answer. When we got home that night, he sat me down and gave me the real answer. He told me the history books he received from the government were full of contradictions and mysteries. Even as a child, I was astounded. There was a reason he didn't share that theory with the entire class. I told the other children what he had told me.
Oh, no, dude.
One day, the MPs arrived to question me.
Yeah, and then killed your dad.
My father didn't come home then.
Oh, Ervin.
He'd been silenced by the government. 107 years ago, when humanity fled to these walls, the king altered their collective memory to make them easier to rule. That was my father's theory.
Yes,
Whoa.
I can see why the first king might do that.
Why would the government have to kill my father for nothing more than getting close to the truth? I'd hoped their motives at least might have been noble. I've realized something about these men. What they're fighting to protect is not humanity, but their own gardens, houses, and lands. All they care about is suppressing those who dare to question their authority in any way.
Tale as old as time.
He was killed by human greed, and by the sheer stupidity of his own son.
Don't blame yourself, buddy.
I've made it my mission in this life To atone to my father by showing the world he was right.
The Scout Regiment has murdered a civilian! If you spot any of the people on these posters, report them immediately!
These are the same bastards that unleashed a Titan here. They destroyed half the town.
We bought the supplies.
The MPs were handing out these flyers. If this is true...
It's a horrible shot of him. Terrible drawing.
Doesn't look like him at all. Billy didn't realize it was supposed to be him to begin with.
We need to hurry and find Aaron.
He'll be fine. They're taking him on a wagon. That gives us 1 day before they reach Rice's estate. And we need every second we can get to come up with a plan.
Good thing you got Armin and...
Sounds like they're approaching.
Shit. The thing with Ervin's dad, like, I mean, I can see why Ervin, like, blames himself for, you know, getting his dad killed. But, like, Ervin's dad should have told him, like, as he's telling him this theory, he should let him know why he didn't say it in front of the class. Like, he's like, you know, I wasn't smart enough to understand it, but his dad should have explained the weight of this. Like, he's like, you can understand, you need to understand why I didn't like tell us to the whole class. Like, you know, this kind of information, you know, can get somebody, like, you know, thrown in jail. Maybe he didn't know he was going to get himself killed. But yeah, he should have, like, maybe like told us some of the importance more of it. So, I mean, I can't really, like, one, he was a kid, so it's tough to blame him there. But two, I feel like, you know, Ervin's dad should have told him more.
I'm intensely curious how they altered the collective memory of the people. Because, like, altering the collective memory to, like, make them easier to control feels like something that they could do again if things didn't go their way. Now, there was, like, we saw the shot of the propaganda with, like, the scouts and everything, but, like, I don't know, the way that he said it made it feel like it was just sort of like
a spell, like
quicker than like years of propaganda.
That's what that's the way I took it too. At first, when he said that, I was just like, okay, so like some kind of spell, like bibbidi boppity, like you're gonna everyone collective memory now time. But yeah, and like so, like it would seem like it would take more time for all that to happen, and maybe that is what he meant. I feel like that's what he was getting to there. Like we altered the collective memory. But if it is something different, I'd be curious again of how they did it, man, and just like. This is turning like more and more into like, I don't know, like Game of Thrones, where it's just like the two sides and the corruption and the politics of it all. Yeah, and I mean, I love the moment with Ervin kneeling down and like vowing to get revenge and like, you know, yeah. So like Ervin just keeps going up my list as far as favorite characters. He keeps getting better and better.
Oh, 100%. And his choice to put Zoe in charge of the scouts was really interesting. And you said like, oh, not Levi. And that was sort of my gut instinct at first too. And yet I feel like Levi needs more freedom than the top dog would be able to have. Yeah, like he's a very good second in command, because then in instances like this, he can disappear for a while. He can go out and do, you know, his own thing, because everybody else is looking to Ervin to lead and looking, you know. So in this instance, like they would all be looking to Zoe, and Zoe's incredibly capable, but also incredibly intelligent. And their exploration of the Titans, their desire to kind of figure this out as a means of problem solving, the sort of questioning of everything is very in line, it sounds like, with Ervin. So I think you recognize that as like they're going to be the person who's gonna do that. Versus, I think Levi, you know, like at one point he was talking about like, well, whether it's this or that, like we're soldiers and we're here now. And like there is nothing wrong with that, but that's not exactly in line with Ervin's kind of thinking, which is, why is this happening? How is it happening? Who's behind it?
I think Levi cares too much about like his squad mates and everything. Like I think Levi would make it too personal, emotional. Even though like, he doesn't show emotion, I feel like he has more like is like. Has like maybe I don't know if it's like a deeper emotion. I don't know exactly the best way to put it, but whereas Zoe, they're more like, I feel like the risk taker that Ervin is. So if it's like Ervin's looking for his successor, yeah, one, question everything. Two, don't be afraid to take big risks in order to get the job done. Because that's what fucking Ervin does. Like he's like I'm a gambler until the end. Yeah, man, you got this far by doing it. Keep going. You know. So yeah, when you like break it down like that, it does make more sense. But like at first, it's like, what? No, it's gotta be Levi because he's such like a natural born leader, and people just want to follow him. But that's also kind of it, right? Like he inspires the troop, and people want to follow him, but he doesn't necessarily like come up with the plan itself. Because in order to do that, you have to somewhat, you have to make the tough calls. You have to like detach yourself from the emotion of it, and you know, you can see him doing like Levi. He's not as emotional as like a Mikasa or something like that. That'll just like goes in blindly and it's like everything like, you know, for Eren, you know, everything else be damned. Levi's lives are like more strategic than that, and he keeps his emotions more in check. But I just think having to make that tough call, he'd probably be able to do it, but then I don't know if he'd be able to live with himself after doing it.
Yeah, Zoe's more clinical.
Yeah.
And because of like that scientific brain, that clinical analysis that can breed detachment. I mean, we've kind of talked about it in earlier episodes with the way that they've interacted with the Titans themselves. Like one minute the Titans are their pets, but then the next minute they're like ready to dissect them. Like, and I think, you know, Levi is a really crucial member of the team, like a necessary second in command, because with everybody being inspired by Levi and following Levi, whoever Levi follows, that's the person that everyone else will follow.
Yeah.
So don't piss off Levi. You need Levi. He's crucial. But yeah, I'm also, you know, you bring up a good point with taking those big risks, and Irvin said, if this doesn't work, everyone's going to die.
Yeah, we're all going to hang.
I think Zoe would be capable of that. I agree with you. I'm not sure that Levi would. Mikasa certainly wouldn't be. Jean certainly wouldn't be. So like every other character we've met, I don't think so.
Yeah. So it's very sad to hear about Storia's upbringing.
Oh my God.
And just her mom, like the fact that she said a horrible thing to her for the first thing that she ever said to her kid, and then left. And then the last thing she ever said was another horrible thing to Storia. So Storia heard like two sentences from her mom, and they were both awful.
What was this last thing she ever said? I think I missed it as we were listening to it, but I didn't want to talk over and mess up the story.
I wish I never had. No, was the first one I wish I never had you?
I wish I never had it. Or if I had been braver, I would have killed it.
Yeah, if I had been braver, I would have killed it. And then the other one is, I think that she said was, I wish I never had you. Damn. And yeah, so I mean, those two horrible things. But it looked like they were going to kill Historia. Like they had a knife to her throat.
Yeah, they were.
Which I'm confused on, because now they've captured her. I mean, if they wanted to kill her, they would have killed her already. So how come now she's more valuable than before when they were just going to kill her? I guess if she was, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not entirely sure that I do.
Why is she still alive? If they're going to kill her in the first place, when they killed her mom, why don't you just kill her now? Like, why keep her alive?
Well, and so that's the part that's very vague in the story, right? Is Rice comes out of this house with Historia and Historia's mom, and there are a bunch of men there ready to arrest. It seemed like all of them. But Rice is royalty. And why would they care if Rice... I mean, I assume Historia's mom was a mistress and not a wife. But I guess if he's the king, who is higher up than him, who is determining that he is not allowed to have a mistress or spread his seed, so to speak, to have a bastard bloodline. Bastards have happened throughout royalty since like the beginning of time. Yeah, they're a risk and they can complicate things, but I don't think it's like really ever been stopped. So I was curious, like, who is this higher authority than Rice? That Rice kind of has to make a bargain for Historia's life and plead to have her spared, but like felt himself in so much personal danger that he was willing to be like, yeah, do what you want with him.
Well, Rice is the rightful king, but he's not the king.
But at what point did that happen?
I mean, I think fairly early on. I don't know at how long ago, but I think when he's at there with his mistress and Historia, he's not in charge. He's not the king. He just has the king's blood. At least that's the way I looked at it. I saw it. And I guess to answer my own question, like as you were talking about, I'm like, oh, okay. I think I remember them saying something like, you know the rules. So maybe he's only allowed to have children with like people that they, like the current king and like the society or whatever, the like religious cult who they deem that like they can have sex with. Like they're not allowed to have bastards because they don't want random like, you know, Titans springing up. If it is like the king's blood that makes a Titan. Well,
it has to be because if they're so concerned about the royal bloodline procreating, why leave them alive in the first place?
Exactly.
They're not in power. So unless there's something like sparkly fucking magical about their blood, remove them. Remove the threat. Get rid of them. You don't need them if they're not in power, there has to be something with their blood.
But what has changed from when they were going to kill Historia because she was a bastard and like, you know, you can't have like unauthorized offspring or whatever, to now
the savior of humanity.
Where she's the savior of humanity. So can he no longer have kids or something like that? Like, you know, is he like, you know, his boys aren't swimming anymore?
And never had any other children?
Yeah, maybe that was it. Like
or they died.
They tried to have other offspring or whatever, and like it never happened. Didn't take, and so she was the only child that he's been able to have since then. That would be the only reason I think that they would keep her alive now, especially since he said like you're the savior of humanity. But again, like that makes her like set up to be like basically brood mother, and yeah, she's not gonna have a good fate right now.
I feel like you're onto something with that. But then again, like whoever is in charge of monitoring the royal family and like the security of this bloodline, to be honest, has done a pretty crappy job if we're down to one person.
Yeah.
And all our hopes rest on one person. Especially because like he was clearly willing to screw around.
Yeah, it's true. Just let him, just let the guy screw around, all right? That's the lesson of Attack on Titan.
Well, no. I think
let a guy just spread his sea wherever. It saves humanity, all right?
If you're going to be like, if you're thinking that the king or I don't know, like some sort of like CIA government organization is kind of like monitoring the royal bloodline, and that's why there are rules that he can't screw around or whatnot. If he and his wife are barren, at some point you should start encouraging some screwing around.
Yeah. Well, you assume that he's having sex with his wife. I think they're choosing who he has sex with in order to like have them have like it's like probably like, you know, other people that are connected to the king or whatever, like the little inner circle or whatever, like Eyes Wide Shut style. They're all having like these like mask parties or whatever, and he goes in and has sex with like different women to try to like birth more Titan babies or whatever.
Okay, so then why Historia's mom? Because she clearly did not seem to be in love with him. She did not seem to like her life. She was not pleased at having a child with him. So why her?
Why her? Oh, no. So her, they didn't choose her.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, why is she in the mix at all? If she wasn't chosen for him, she clearly doesn't love him. Like, how did that all come about? I mean, her circumstances had to have been so desperate that she's willing to risk her life to become the illegal mistress of a guy. And he's like, what is he doing for her that's making that?
I don't know.
I mean, sure, she sat on a farm reading books all day and didn't have to work during the day, but I'm willing to bet she probably earned that work at night.
Yeah, I'm not sure how those two got, you know, those two lovebirds got together.
Lovebirds is a very strong word in this circumstance, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not sure how it originally happened that they got together.
But like, that's like another thing is if they're kind of controlling all this stuff, how did this set of circumstances come about to begin with? And if he'd only just met Historia, and if he was fearing for his own security enough that he was willing to like be like, do what you want and watch them kill the mistress, what made him speak up for Historia at all? He certainly didn't seem to have that humanity in any instance preceding like that moment.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think he could have saved. I think he thought he couldn't save either of them. So he's like, okay. He's like, I mean, nothing I can do. And then at the end, right, they're about to kill Historia. He's like, wait a minute, what about this? And just kind of like threw out a last-ditch effort to save her. And like, they took it.
Which is interesting because I would think Historia is the greater threat to their whatever they're doing.
Than
the mistress.
Yeah.
As long as the mistress wasn't pregnant.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, lots to unpack.
Yeah. All right. We're going to go on to episode 4 next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun times.
We're more likely to find them if we're not all in the same area.
Bulkhead.
Why'd I have to get paired up with you of all people? You schemed this up so we'd get some alone time?
Mm-hmm.
No offense, but you weren't my first choice either.
Well, good for you then.
She was offended.
Why would the scouts murder a civilian and run for the hills?
Exactly. It is odd.
Think about what they did to Stohess. The way they turned it into a battlefield. How many dead bodies do you think we carried?
How is disbanding the scouts what's best for humanity?
Yep. Good to ask these questions.
Don't move! Turn around slowly.
You're surrounded.
You must be a scout. Now listen and do exactly as I instructed.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Now hand your guns to the one in front.
Don't say a word, right?
Trust. Oof.
Sorry to have kept you waiting, Evan. I know this is sudden, but it's time for your interrogation.
Very polite way to say I'm about to torture you.
The Interior Police are running this case without oversight?
Hey, you cut that out. Curie here is still just a rookie.
He's Clark Kent.
The Interior Police aren't a subject we plan to write about. And the same
You should.
goes for their new ODM gear.
That new ODM gear worries me. Those guns are useless against Titans, but they're perfect for human combat. It's as if that gear were specifically made for killing scouts. I get the impression that we aren't off the list of people it could be used against.
God, the MPs are starting to question things.
Yeah.
At least some of them.
That was just it, like sort of the collective changing of the consciousness. That I was like, even years of propaganda, like there's still dissenters. There's still people who question. There have to be if you have the freedom to think.
Check the next alley!
You're the son of Demo Reeves, right? What's your name?
Flagle.
My name's Zoe Hanji. If the MPs are trying to hunt you down, then I'm assuming that you must know the truth about your father's death.
I made a stop so that I could piss. That's when the Interior Police found my dad. He slit my dad's throat.
Anyway, I'm glad to see that you survived.
See, she doesn't have the emotion there.
If the MPs say you guys did it, well then that's the truth. My testimony means jack shit. They figured out I was there.
They're gonna say you're in on it.
I'll be hunted for the rest of my life. My life is over now.
So join the Scouts.
That doesn't exactly sound like living to me.
Mm.
Instead of spending the rest of your life skulking around like a scared rat till you get murdered, you could stand up like a human and face your enemy even if they might kill you.
Why the hell would I? Yeah, I am scared and I have every right to be. That's just what would be best for you.
Of course it is! You need to start thinking about what's best for you, too!
Your gang's already lost. Just give up. Why don't you know when you're beat?
Defeat is the only thing the Scout Regiment has ever known.
Get past the checkpoint disguised as MPs, and snoop around until we find out where Aaron is. It's a shit plan, but it's all we have. If we don't act now, we're finished. Your Stohess District Military Police. Private Marlo Freudenberg.
Captain Levi, it's really him.
Stohess was a graveyard. Over 100 people were killed. I bet you all think you're some kind of heroes of justice, but you're not.
Yeah.
You're from the Southern Cadet Corps, right? So you trained with Annie Leonhardt. Now I'll never get the chance to learn anything about her. She's officially listed as missing. You know why? It's because one of your Titans turned her into an ugly red stain on the street!
Actually,
Yeah, she's the Titan.
it's because the Titan we captured was Annie Leonhardt herself.
See, you don't know shit, people.
Nobody knows a thing about this world.
Yep.
Not us or anyone else. We're letting you go, but we need to give ourselves a head start on you.
Please, let me join in your cause. I believe that the military police are in the wrong here.
Easy. Calm down. I have no way of telling if you have enough resolve to make an enemy of the state.
Would you let me do it instead?
John believes the guy that he wants to join, so he's gonna set him free. It's like, you can join us. We need all the help we can get.
We'll forget everything we saw here.
I know you will, because both of you are about to die.
No! He said to let us go!
Oh, shit!
I'm ready to do what needs to be done.
Sean, what happened to you?
I can't trust you. Not with that hair. Who in their right mind would get a bowl cut on purpose?
Yes! Oh, he's gonna see if they. Oh,
What do you think will kill faster?
He wanted her to
her to
run
go.
off.
Yeah. Like, he tripped on purpose. I know.
My comrades are getting rounded up like criminals as we speak. What makes you think we can win?
Because you haven't quit. Despite the odds, the Scouts are still fighting.
That's the right answer.
So I'll trust you.
Oh!
He was just trying to test us. Are you
At
crazy?
least he got it.
How did you know I wouldn't do it?
Don't ask
It
me
wasn't a
how,
gun. It was just a
but
stick.
You remind me of this annoying guy. Idiot.
Oh, reminded him of Aaron.
Luckily for me, you're just as dumb.
Hmm.
I think you proved your dedication. This should be enough to convince Captain Levi. We'll be counting on you from here on out.
Good job, John.
Mm-hmm.
This is the least manned checkpoint in the region.
Good. We'll handle things from here. Get back to your squad before they're suspicious.
Right.
Yeah, now they got people on the inside.
We're grateful.
Sir.
Aw.
This time we're picking the fight.
Yeah! Nice.
He's with the Interior Police. I've got questions for him.
Nice. Institution which unifies and suppresses. Chancellery.
Under
Okay.
the royal government's will.
Mhm.
Okay.
There won't be any witnesses in an abandoned dump like this. I owe you big time. Thanks a bunch, Flagle. Back in the alley, I really thought I was screwed.
Dude, what's going on?
My boss would have killed me.
Oh.
I'm serious.
You're gonna die anyways.
Nice knowing you. No, wait, don't shoot yet, please. Why did my father have to die? Did the Interior Police kill him? What did my father do for you to justify killing him? I thought you'd know. He betrayed us and started helping out those bastards in the Scout Regiment. So his orders, they came from the Interior Police? Well, it was a different squad, but yeah. Guess old Demo didn't say too much about it.
Does he have a recording device?
And what if he'd refused to do it? We'd have killed him. I mean, we killed him anyway. What made him think the Survey Corps could help this trash city?
You would never understand. You think you're real smart shit, don't you? He said a good merchant should trust his nose. And I'm glad I listened, because it led me to the people who could avenge him. And I side with them.
No need to be brave. Go on and squeal.
My business with you is over, asshole. Why don't you take a look above you?
Shit.
Oh, crap.
Did everyone hear him?
Scouts are everywhere.
All the people. Nice.
This dump ain't abandoned.
Bet it seems unlivable to you, but it's still our home. We heard everything.
Good.
About Reeves and who had him killed.
Well, it doesn't matter. Because it's the government that decides what's true. Don't even think for a second you can get away with this. You're in for a world of...
Jeez. No.
You'll all be fine, as the Reeves Company will protect you.
Fart on him.
That's a promise.
Slow clap. Nice.
Hey, you give him hell, Flegel.
Where'd they take Aaron and Krista?
That post was manned by recruits. They barely even knew how to wipe their own asses.
Yeah, the guilt's tearing me apart.
Ooh.
But what really gets at me is this mouth of yours. I'm gonna suggest that you start talking while you're still able to use it.
You can't win. All that's left to you now is to find some filthy corner to hide in. If you don't turn yourselves in, then every last scout we captured will get the noose. Starting with the guiltiest one of all, Ervin Smith!
Oh.
That's right. Some scouts' lives are more valuable than others. Only those dumb enough to agree to that join us.
Don't know. Nobody told me, I swear. Kenny Ackerman doesn't like to make his business known.
Ackerman. That his last name?
It is, but...
He never was much of one for sharing information. Not important stuff anyway. You'd best try to remember.
No, stop!
You still have plenty of bones left for me to break.
Damn it! Are you insane?
Yeah.
Somebody's coming towards us! And there's more than one.
You're beat. Struggle all you want.
Suppose he's not screaming out for help.
You've seen better days. Kind of funny. You were lecturing me just the other day.
So you came.
It's a glue.
Tell me, Niall, where do you live? Stoas, was it? How's Marie? How are your children? I trust they're all in good health.
They should be just fine. I haven't been home in a while, but why ask that? What's going on?
I trusted something to Commander Pixis. Whenever that crucial moment comes, what happens next is out of my hands. It'll be your choice to make. Yours and theirs.
Oh my gosh. What's the plan?
What did we learn from the interrogation?
Ervin didn't even realize that Pasternak was with the Order of the Wall, so Historia can make all the claims about a name she wants and it won't matter.
But in truth, they're nothing more than cattle in a pen, simply waiting to die.
Again, that image of cattle in pen. Keep bringing that metaphor up.
Ervin has been executed. All will be according to plan. So the walls will be kept as safe as ever. And the king's peace will be ensured.
Those twins?
Forever. Ervin Smith, do you have any last words?
Oh, bet I do. Oh, you sons of bitches. I knew they were going to do that. Oh, man. What'd you think?
I am just so blown away by Ervin over these last couple episodes in particular. Just his faith in the plan coming to fruition and the truth coming to light, and his willingness to sacrifice all for it, including the self-sacrifice. I mean, he very easily could die. The truth could still come out, but he might not be alive to ever see that day come. And just this like steely determination that he has. And yet he has that, but he doesn't have like Zoe's clinical detachment. Like, I still believe he has some warmth. It's just he has a steely determination as well that, you know, when he makes up his mind about what the right thing to do is, you're not going to move him from it.
Well, he follows that rule number 6, whatever, that he was accused of like betraying, which is never put yourself like above like what's good, best for humanity. And he's willing to die in order to do what he feels is best for humanity, which is try to get this, you know, secret out in the open. And I think, you know, him along with Zoe, like they kind of have like a similar plans. I think, you know, Zoe wanted to, okay, the more people that know, the better. And like once they know the truth, believe that they're willing to, you know, like fight for the right side. And I think that's the same thing with Erwin's whole gamble is, and why he was talking to that one MP. It was kind of like, okay, well, like once you know the truth, it's like it's out of my hands, and I'm trusting in, you know, the humanity of everyone that's like, you know, not in the inner circle, the secret society or whatever, that they will fight for the true heir and for, like, you know, not being lied to, and for their families, and you know, stop being cattle in a pen and actually taking control.
It's really interesting just watching this, like, during the times that we live in, because we are in a very divisive world right now. And it's having that faith in humanity, not listening to like all the noise of division and like the everybody going to their own corners and what they think is right or wrong or true or not, but like just believing in like, hey, if you can present the truth to people, if you can really show them, then humanity is inherently good. They will rally around each other. They will rise up to fight sort of like the people trying to just use them as cattle in a pen while they safeguard their palaces and their riches and their billions and whatever.
Yeah, and it was interesting too when the one MP that was captured by Zoe said like, oh, you fools, like it doesn't matter because the government controls what the truth is. And yeah, like in an authoritarian and dictatorship, that's why they, you know, like limit the access of news and like what goes out. And so you want people to be ignorant and not know what's going on, because once you see, you know, it's one thing like hearing it and it's another thing seeing it. And like, I mean, yes, they technically just heard it and they didn't see it, but like they were actually there. They were their witnesses. Yeah. You know, so, and then there's like, it's harder to silence like a bigger group, and like, you know, that can spread because, all right, you might hear whispers or whatever, and you might not believe something that you like, you know, see or read or whatever. But then when it happens like to someone that you know or like close to you, even if it doesn't directly happen to you, then all of a sudden you're just like, okay, now you start to believe more.
Yeah, and I mean, even that one MP referred to like, oh, this place is too much of a dump. It's an abandoned building. It's perfect. But it's like, no, that's where these people live. Like, they're not sitting pretty in the inner wall living the rich life. This is how they live because this is how the government has forced them to live.
Yep. Great job for Jean too. We said it would happen, but like, I mean, just his trip could have been a little bit better. You know, it's just that was pretty bad acting on that part. But you know, to give them a chance and you know, realize that you need all the help you can get. So if there's someone willing to do it, like the fact that he reminded him of Aaron, I like that as well. That like still, man, it's just like never liked the guy, but damn, just always sticks with you.
Yeah, and I love that he tested them versus just letting him go, because like I thought he was just gonna let the guy go.
Me too.
Which in hindsight I'm like, wow, that's really naive considering how high stakes the situation are. Like Jean has developed some real strategy and like evolved some real, I think, military smarts to be like, I can't just let them go. I can't just let them join. I can test them. I can like put the fear of death into them and see which way the chips fall. And that'll tell me what they really believe and who they really are.
Yeah.
I also just have to shout out Levi's
interrogation skills.
Yeah, we'll call it that. Yeah. Just because, you know, we talked about Erwin's steely determination, and yes, I think we also see that equally in Levi. It's just Levi uses it differently, and I think kind of has to find it under different circumstances. Like I think Erwin has this faith that allows him and the strategy and the politics and the political intelligence.
Yeah.
That like he reads the tea leaves accurately, he formulates the plan, and then he's got what I think is really courageous, like the balls to have faith in the plan's execution. Levi calls on that steely determination when someone is threatened, which I think goes back to how you said like he couldn't lose someone. You know, I mean, obviously he has lost scouts.
Yeah.
There will be more scouts who are lost before the end of this, but like he takes it personally. And he will make sure that he does everything that he can to prevent that from happening. And so, you know, his determination comes out when he thinks that, well, if I do this, I could save someone.
I also like that moment, you know, I got on my high horse when Hitch and Marlowe didn't know about Annie, and they thought they knew what was going on. It was like, yeah, you don't know shit. And like Levi was like, none of us know shit. Like, except for the people that are in their inner circle, like we are all like, there's all so much information that we just do not have at all. And like, you know, that could have been a moment where he could have like lorded that over them or whatever. And it's just like he like told them, you know, the truth or whatever, but then didn't like rub it in the fact of just like, God, you guys are so stupid. Like, I mean, you know, it was just the fact of like, man, like there's just so much misinformation out there and lack of information and knowledge of what's going on that we're all just like wandering around in the dark out here. And, you know, that's what's causing a lot of the division as well, is because when you don't have all the facts, when you have like very little facts and only get what, you know, the information that they want you to have, then that's why it's able to like, it's easy to divide people that way. It's so much easier.
Yeah, fear, chaos,
yep,
and ignorance. It is the perfect toxic serum that allows authoritarians and oppressive sort of like governments and regimes to have a foothold. Because if you can't trust anyone, if you're scared to death, and everything's chaos and there's no information, it makes it really tough to fight back.
Very excited to find out what Erwin's plan is.
Yes.
And I just hope it's going to be in the next couple episodes because, like, you know, they're queuing it up. I was like, don't drag this out. Don't you dare like make me wait any longer. I need to know the plan. I need to see, you know, what happens. I need to know what Pixis is doing. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I want to know what Pixis is up to. I want to know the plan. And I also really want to know, like, what is the plan for Historia? Obviously, it's not Erwin's plan or Pixis' plan, but like there's a separate plan right now happening for Historia. And yeah, we're going to crown you queen and it's going to be all dandy after that. Like, can't be that naive to think that it's going to be that easy. So I'm curious, like, what is happening behind the scenes around Historia that she might not even be aware of yet?
Let us know your thoughts about these episodes down below in the comments. And if you want early ad-free access and full uncut reactions, you can get a month ahead and see every moment over on our Patreon. Links in the description of the video. Thanks so much for watching Attack on Titan with us, but just keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.